Welcome back to Keeping Up with KJ. My name is Kanisha. I'm a first-time home buyer who is transforming my first. I always forget, so I'm looking at myself. I need to be looking at the camera. I do that almost every time. We're working on it though. Hey y'all, welcome back to day 4 of 9 of the office makeover. My name is Kanisha. I'm a first-time home buyer who is transforming my first home one DIY project at a time. So the floor has been prepped, but we still have a lot more to go today. I have to prep the windows, take off the outlet covers. I need to sand a little bit more on the ceiling. And then after that, I'm putting the second coat of primer on the ceiling, and I'm priming the walls at the same time with my brand new gray coat paint sprayer. So I've been here for about an hour. It looks the exact same as it did. But in all of that, I was sitting here and I was like, dang, like I'm literally rushing and like taking all the fun out of the project. Now, don't get me wrong, removing popcorn is not fun. That's most of what this project has been so far. But like at the same time, chill. Yes, there are deadlines. Yes, I do have a deadline, okay? I gave myself Wednesday. Technically, I could push to Thursday, but Wednesday for real is like the day. But at the same time, the popcorn ceiling is going to take the most time. And from there, everything else should move a little bit quicker. Not gonna lie, y'all, I feel like I have a slight hint of delusion when it comes to this project because this is a lot of work to get done in just 9 days. But honestly, I'm grateful for the challenge because I partnered with Valspar to announce their 2025 Color of the Year Encore, and that's where this color for this project came from. This color is absolutely out of my comfort zone, but I'm looking to add more color into my home. But this is my time to design a space that's not only functional, but also inspiring as well. When I was designing this space, I wanted a desk, but I also wanted a couch as well. The desk is going to allow me to be super productive. I ended up getting a computer, but I also wanted a couch as well because I wanted a space where I could relax but still be productive in my office space. So if you want to see me bring this mood board to life, be sure to keep watching. This actually might be number 1 on my DIY pet peeve list, is if you're going to take the time to paint, take the time to do the prep. So I have been in situations where the people have painted around the blinds like bracket. So just like with the outlet covers, take them off. It takes less than 5 minutes to take all that stuff off, paint, and then put it back up. Probably more than 5 minutes once you have to put it back up too. But y'all, you cannot paint around these things. Don't do it. Don't be that person. So when I'm doing stuff, especially like when I'm getting tired or like I want to start cutting corners, that's kind of almost what I say to myself. Like, I don't want these next people to come in here and talk about me. And be like, yeah, that girl, she had that YouTube channel, but she didn't do good work. How awful. Wouldn't that be crazy? Hopefully that does not happen, and whoever buys my home in the future feels like I did a really good job. And it is finally time to prime the ceiling for the second time and the walls for the first time. So I'm really excited about this step because y'all, when I bought this house, actually when I did my walkthrough of this home, I knew I hated this color. I knew it had to go. Somebody compared it to squash, like the baby food version of squash. Absolutely hate it. And I have been wanting to get rid of it literally for 3 years now. Today's the moment. So this room is truly going to start to transform once the primer is on the wall and you're not seeing this god-awful yellow color. If you like the color, to each his own, that's your business. But for me, it just doesn't do it. But to get the job done today, I'm going to be using the Gray Coat Project Painter Plus. So I finally decided it was time to upgrade my paint sprayer. So I have been using the Gray Coat True Coat 360. And I wanted something that was going to be a little bit easier when it came to doing larger projects. Eventually, I want to stain my fence. Eventually I'm going to build a deck and I want to stain that. So I finally thought it was time to upgrade to this bigger paint machine. Like I thought, this space already looks so much more different, even though it is just primer on the wall. Again, I am super excited to put some paint on these walls. But one thing that's, I'm just seeing some spots over here by this window. Primer will definitely reveal your imperfections. Like if you got some cracks in the walls or holes that you missed, you're definitely going to be able to see them once you put your coat of primer on. So that's why I went back and filled some of those nail holes that I missed. And then again, fix those imperfections on the ceiling. If I don't lose at least 5 pounds by the end of this, I'm gonna be really upset because I'm truly doing a full body workout all day for the past 4 days. But today is the first day where it feels like a lot of progress has been made. The walls are primed. The ceiling, it's finished. I just put the ceiling paint on and it feels so good to have that out of the way. Today's Friday, tomorrow Saturday. The light for the room is supposed to be here tomorrow. So literally as soon as it gets here, I'm going to go ahead and put it up. So that way I have a light in this space and I can actually work after dark. The desk came today. The office chair came today. The couch is still supposed to come today. There are a couple other things that are supposed to come today. But I'm feeling really good about my progress. If you have made it this far in this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button because there is so much more to come, not just from this office makeover, but from the channel in general. So you already know what I'm going to say. Make sure you subscribe because it's time to start keeping up with KJ. Hey y'all, welcome back to day 5 of the office makeover, and there is a lot to be done. So I need to work on the accent wall today. I need to get my measurements for the baseboards and the door casings around the door. What else do I need to do? I've already taken the measurements for the attic door and the trim around the doors. I need to go ahead and cut that. Make sure I'm hoping I have a piece of scrap wood in the garage that will fit the attic door. I don't have to buy anything. Those are the biggest things. I got to make sure I get that accent wall done today though. So that way, hopefully I can paint later today, but worst case scenario, I can paint tomorrow, which will be Sunday. That is my deadline to paint. So the accent wall has got to get done today. Oh, super excited. The light fixture, well, pretty much everything except for the couch has already come in. But I am going to hang the light fixture today so that way I can actually work after dark in the room and I can go ahead and see what that looks like. So a lot to get done today. It's kind of like random projects, but that's what happens when you are doing renovation type projects. Full room makeover, full house makeovers, is there are just so many miscellaneous things that need to get done, and today is one of those days. So let's get to it. So here is my idea for the accent wall. So some people will call this a wainscoting, but then if you like look up the definition of a wainscoting, it's just like the bottom 3/4, I think, of the, or the bottom something of the wall. But picture frame molding, so the 2 side panels will be smaller than the middle panels. All of these are the same height. All of these are the same height. And so what I need to do is play around on my wall. So I actually created this on a website. I will tag them down below. This is just all of my math to see how many pieces I actually need. The 54 feet kind of scared me, but then they're 8 feet pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get 7 pieces, $6 a piece. Very inexpensive in comparison to buying the molding already put together. That's like $300. So no. And then I also wrote down like my spacing in between. I'll make some spacers for that. This is my little baseboard. So I'm going to play around with this on the wall just to make sure I like the way this looks before I go ahead and make another Lowe's trip to buy the actual trim for this accent wall. Okay, so this is just a lesson that sometimes the first idea that you have may not be the best idea that you're going to have. So behind me, I have started my, again, are we going to, let's just say accent wall. Let's not call it a wainscoting. I have started the accent wall. So I started off with tape. I cannot find my big level laser, which is really annoying me because it would have done my horizontal and my vertical lines. It would have just took some moving around, but it would have been much easier than using the hand level. You can't really see them. I'll show you. But for my top squares, I have gone in the I don't know, the painter's tape. It just like it was taking too long. So I'm just literally using a pencil and writing right on the wall. Again, the trim is going to cover it up. I'm going to end up doing that with my bottom squares as well, just so that way I can see what it all will look like. Again, the painter's tape in comparison to the pencil look very uneven, not level. They don't look level. But I for sure trust the squares up top, and then I'm going to use the squares up top to then do my squares down below. And then again, any paint or any pencil markings again will be covered by the trim, so I'm not worried about that at all. So again, it is personal preference. Some people enjoy or like to use the painter's tape, but me personally, I think I'm just going to end up drawing what I need to do. Okay, so I do believe that this paper probably doesn't make any sense to anyone other than myself. So when it comes to figuring out how much baseboard and door trim you need, do what makes sense to you. So what I did is go around. This room isn't perfectly square, like my guest bedroom is. So I said I drew out the space, I drew where I was starting from, and then I did an estimate of my measurements. And then I figure out the size or the length of the boards that they sell. And so Lowe's sells either 8 foot or 12 foot. So I want to try to get as much as I can. So what all of this is telling me is that I'm getting 3 12-foot pieces and then the cuts that I need them to make. And then I'll have the extra, the part that they cut off will do the smaller sides. And then I have a scrap piece that I was using as my, for my accent wall, to show me where the baseboards are. That scrap piece will cover that. So the 3 12-foot pieces will be enough for the space. And then I also did my door casings. I'm getting 2 12-footers, 2 8-footers, and then I'm getting the 12-footers cut 8 foot 4 feet. And then again, this probably doesn't make any sense. And then how much trim I need for the attic. I have a few extra pieces of baseboard, but then I have a good bit of door casing, and I'm going to use the door casing for the attic door. It is definitely time that we fix that because that looks awful. So I need to see how much scrap I actually do have. And then that'll tell me if I need to buy this or if I can just use what I already have. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Those might be 12s. Let me see. No, I got 8-foot ceilings. I'm being dramatic. That's an 8-footer. So I have 4 8-footers for the door casings already in here. So I'm just going to take those out of my calculations. Also, reality of DIY projects. Okay. Promise this space will get cleaned once the project is finished. But Goodwill for sure need to take some of this stuff to Goodwill. And here's kind of what the landing looks like. It's all a mess, but again, just so that way I can have this space clear, and then we can start to declutter and organize all that stuff once we are finished in here. The trim for the accent wall, I'm going to get that on my Lowe's trip as well. So we got a good bit of things to get from Lowe's. Hopefully they don't get annoyed with me because I do need them to make some cuts. They're not going to cut the accent wall trim though, because those are going to come in 8-footers. They can fit in my car. The 12-footers, I would cut them myself, but the RAV4 only fits 11 feet when I kind of stretch everything out. So that's why I have to get them to actually cut those pieces. So sorry, Lowe's, but thank you for the free service. Alrighty, so the last probably like 2 or 3 hours has truly felt like pure defeat. I went to Lowe's to get all of the trim. I got all of the baseboards and door casings that I needed, loaded them up, had someone meet me at the saw just for them to tell me that they don't cut those. I've had those cut before. Whatever, I get home, I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and put the light fixture up so that way I can keep working on this just in case I'm not done by the time it gets dark. And another, I just can't hold it up. Well, I literally pushed through. I held it up. It was such a struggle to hold it up and try to fasten all of the wires together. But because there's 6 bulbs on there, there's 3 wires coming from the fixture. I put it all together, and then when I turned the switch on, cut the breaker back on, turn the switch on, the one set wasn't on. So they told me that wire came loose. I took it down, looked at it, and of course it came loose. I don't know what they're called. The things that you twist the wires together with, the ones that come in the kit aren't good enough. They're not holding. And then the ones that were already on there, some of them aren't big enough because there are so many wires on that one place. I mean, I probably need to expose some more of the wire because there are 3 wires. I need to like really wrap them around. So all that to say, that is going to be another Lowe's trip because I need those little twisty things. And yeah, so no light fixture, no baseboard and trim. Today is feeling like a dud. Okay, so I recorded the previous clip, felt defeated. This is why I love DIY. Try again. Okay, I almost let this light beat me. So if you notice, it's bright in here. The sun is not out. So I had given up. I'm like, I'm trying. I'm literally sweating. Like I can't get it. So I actually found some of those twisty things outside in the garage. My coworker Jeff called me to check on me because I had a question for him about installing the light, and he was like, I just want to make sure you're still alive. And I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try again. I'm like, I'm alive, but no light. And I just sent him a text telling him that the light is now up. So this is your motivation. If you have a project that you feel like has beaten you couldn't get it done, just try again. Relax, take a deep breath, don't stress it, and try again. This accent wall is also trying to beat me. It's not going to, because now I have a light, so now I can continue to work after dark. So this accent wall will be finished today, okay? And that's on my mama. All right, y'all, so I will give y'all a better view of it, and again, it will look a lot better once the attic door is complete. But I love how it looks in here. I'm super excited to see this space come together. I tried something different and didn't go with a ceiling fan in this space, but I absolutely love the way this light fixture looks. I got it from Amazon. Again, everything will be linked down below, but it's time for me to go ahead and finish this accent wall so it doesn't beat me. Okay, we're going to turn what I thought was going to be a negative or unproductive day into a very positive try again and you will succeed day. So let's do it. Alrighty, so when it comes to this accent wall, I was a little worried because my mitered edges aren't like coming together perfectly, but I can feel that with a little bit of wood filler, or would I have to use I think I can use wood filler. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm sure there's something that I can put in here. I haven't secured the miters down as tight as I can anyway. I want to wait till I have them all together before I do that. But I will use something to kind of fill that in a little bit, and then fill these nail holes. I still have to caulk. But as far as putting it up, relatively easy. I'm really glad I drew the lines, because the tape I would have had to take off anyway. But with the lines just stay up there. I measure and then I keep going. So I do measure each piece, even though I wrote all those things down before, just to be sure. Measure twice, cut once. And I am using these little miter, I thought it was called miter shears, but I think these were called miter snips. From Cobalt. I got this from Lowe's, and relatively simple to use. It does take a little bit of grip, but relatively easy to do. So with my trim, I have my thicker side on the outsides. So my thicker side will always be the longer piece of the measurement. Alrighty, y'all, good morning. We are back on Sunday. It is a little bit before 8:30, and this is day 6 of the office makeover. So we are now on the other end of the project, or our timeline anyway. So where did we leave off? The accent wall is not finished. Okay, I do have a good bit of pieces cut, but it looks the same as the last time I showed you, because when I went to Lowe's last night, that Lowe's that I went to, which was the closest one, did not have what I was looking for. It did not have this trim. So that was my sign to stop for last night. So I'm up early today. I'm going to Lowe's, and I'm also just going to go ahead and get the baseboards and the door casings. If I have to cut them with my own hand saw and miter box in the parking lot, that's what I'll have to do, so that way it can get in my car. But hopefully I can talk somebody into cutting that for me. Fingers crossed. But it is what it is, because my goal is to just go ahead and have those. So that way, worst case scenario, if I cannot start to install them tonight, I can do that super early in the morning. I do have an appointment tomorrow. And then tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to get my niece. She's going to help me put some of this furniture together. And before we can actually put furniture in this space, it needs to be painted and have baseboards. So if I can get my 3 major walls done, I got some tedious cuts back there on this wall behind me. Those can kind of wait, but until Tuesday. But I do need to go ahead and get these 3 larger walls where the furniture will be done before we start coming in here and putting furniture together. And that's pretty much it. So that was 5. We are on Lowe's trip number 6, day 6, lucky number 6. Hopefully we get a lot done today. So I am in a great mood because we are off to a great start today. Sometimes you just got to be nice to people. Like, because when I walked into Lowe's, y'all, I literally saw my little cart sitting right there. And they was like, oh, this you? And I'm like, yeah, like, I really just need to get it in my car. Like, I've had somebody do it before. I'm like, well, I think it might rip. I promise it's not going to rip. Like, talk to them real sweet. And I got it cut down just enough to get into the car. This is what large pickups look like in the RAV4. But it is just enough to get in those 10. These are 10.5 feet. We got a lot of work to do today. So I'm trying to see which I like better. So I put spackle in these holes. And then down here I use my Mohawk fill stick. The Mohawk fill stick, there's no wait time. So I am able to go ahead and start wiping that off. But it seems like it's been really hard to get that residue out of the grooves. So I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the simplest thing. Even though I'm waiting for this to dry, I can go ahead and caulk everything. So if you look here, here is the difference between something that has been caulked versus something that has not been. I got a wait time of 2 hours anyway before I can put any paint on the walls. So when you have a really tedious part of your project like this, filling nail holes and caulking, just turn on some music, turn on a show, something that you don't have to like watch, but you can listen to and just don't think. I don't want to say don't think about it, but kind of like don't think about it. If I sit here and be like, oh my God, I got so many more nail holes to feel like I'm going to be miserable. I'm going to be miserable for the next few hours. So I am just going to get it done. You can already kind of see. So here's one. This one has all the holes have been filled. It's been caulked. And then we start to see where I am filling holes here. And then I haven't filled any holes here. I feel like the higher I got on the higher ones, I try not to put as many nails in the wall if I could, just because that was going to help avoid having to fill all these nail holes. I am using a different caulking gun than I typically do use. I will put the link for this down below. This company sent me a few of these caulking guns, so this is my first time like trying them out. So the whole gist behind them is so it's cutting through the caulk, and it's supposed to give you constant pressure all the way through. So I'm liking it so far. And what I don't like though is I got one of those like caulking tools to help you not use your finger. That just doesn't seem to be helpful for me. So I'm just continuously wetting my finger and getting in there and smoothing that caulk out as much as possible. I feel like caulking is something that I'm not like 100% great at, but I am going to get it done. So the more you practice, the better you will get. After 6 days, literally 6 days, we are ready to paint. This room is about to completely be transformed simply with one item, and that's a can of paint. I cannot wait to see the new color on these walls. This is definitely out of my comfort zone, but I said I wanted to add color to my home. So here we are adding color. I just cannot wait to bring this mood board to life. And the first step in that was the accent wall. And then now adding this coat of paint that I'm super excited about. And I cannot wait to show you all. I'm using the paint sprayer, so it should not take long at all. Prep. Oh my God, it seems like it took forever. My tape keeps coming down and I don't know why. And that worries me. I just needed to stay up for me to finish painting. That's all. But I have climbed on this ladder so many times putting this tape back up. But it's all going to work out, and I can't wait to show y'all the finished color. I'll be back. Welcome to the not so glamorous part of DIY. So I ran out of paint. I had about 2 more walls left to do. And with the paint sprayer, it doesn't get the paint all the way from the bottom. So I didn't use the full gallon, but it still wouldn't like suck the paint up into the paint sprayer. It was literally 7:30 on a Sunday, which means Lowe's closes at 8. So I took off my sauna suit, ran to Lowe's, barely made it. I'm back home, finished spraying. I did have some runs that I had to fix, so I back rolled them. So I'm going to have to sand that down a little bit and then do my next coat. But I love the color so far. But I did not expect to run out of paint in the middle of the project. That definitely slowed me down. And then just like stressed me out because I'm like, oh my God, I got paint runs. Oh my God, I ran out of paint. So your girl was definitely going through it, but love the color so far. It is an actual sauna in there and in the sauna suit. So I'm going to let that dry, and then I am going to finish this tonight because I just need to get this over with. I'm not doing this tomorrow. So quick intermission, probably not a quick intermission. I gotta let all that paint dry. So once that paint dries, then I can recoat, do my touch-ups, and your girl will be finished painting. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Some moments it felt like we were never gonna get to this point, but I'm super excited to finally see paint on these walls. This is the end of day 7 out of 9, and there still is a lot more to get done on this project, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on part 3 of this project to see if I can get this space done in just 9 days.